Hi friends! It's already the end of 2025 and this year has been absolute chaos. This year I've done multiple engine overhauls, brought home a couple too many project cars and maybe bit off a bit more than I could chew. This will be my 2025 year wrap-up because today I wanted to sit down and take you guys through my entire year of project cars, and I wanted to do that right here in this garage because exactly 1 year ago I was rebuilding my Volvo 340 engine, and now a year later at the end of 2025 I'm rebuilding an engine once more, and that's the engine of my Volvo V70. It's a 2.5T, and yeah, let's just say I've spent quite a few hours here in this garage. At the beginning of this year I was hands deep in my Volvo 340 project because I had just pulled the engine after blowing my head gasket because I decided I wanted to rebuild that engine. And I also decided to upload the entire process here on YouTube. And that's also when I started taking YouTube more seriously by uploading a new video every week. And I must say that I finished that project so quickly just because of you guys, because I actually wouldn't do that because it was outside while I was working on that car and it was literally freezing and my hands were super cold, and normally I wouldn't finish that project and wait until the weather got better, but you guys were so excited in my comment section that I just had to finish that car as quickly as possible because I just couldn't wait to show you guys the result. Now, I finished that project back in February of this year, and for those of you wondering, yes, the 340 is still on the road, but I don't really drive it that much, just like my Honda CRX project that I finished. But that's mostly because gasoline is super expensive here, and I also got a diesel which is way cheaper to drive, and also the 340 is a bit slow and boring. But fun little fact, I am thinking about swapping the engine once more to give it a bit more power and make it a bit more fun, so maybe next year that car will be back on this channel. After the 340 project I got started on the Renault 5 GT turbo engine rebuild, which wasn't my car, but a friend of mine saw my YouTube series and asked if I could do the same for his car, which of course I love to do since I really enjoyed the 340 project. So in February, right after finishing my Volvo 340, I got started on the Renault 5 GT turbo engine. And after finishing that project is when things really started to get off rails, because at that moment I owned 4 cars. I owned my Volvo 340 that I finished at the beginning of the year, my Volvo V70 which was my daily driver, I also owned my Honda CRX that I finished back in 2024, and then I had one project car that I wanted to finish as soon as I can, and that was my BMW E28. But I decided to take a leap and buy another project car, my Volvo 850R. It was listed on Marketplace for super cheap and I've always wanted to own a Volvo 850R. So I decided to just buy it. But man, did I bite off more than I could chew. The plan was actually to get it in good technical state myself and then take it to the painter, but I had quite a few financial setbacks. So I then had 2 options: quit the project halfway through or try and do everything myself, which I did together with my friend Leon. We spent so many hours on that car together and it still isn't done yet. Because not only is it a really big project, I'm also doing that project at Leon's place, which is a 2.5 hour drive, single trip from my home. So working on that car every single weekend is just not doable. And I think you guys know me by now, because when another cheap project car was listed for sale, I just couldn't say no. And that's when I added my cheap and rusty Honda Civic to the fleet. This car needs quite a lot of work, and so far I've only replaced the timing belt and fixed the foggy headlights. The next step in this project will be to fix the rust, which of course I'll have to do at my friend Leon's place too, because that's where I do my welding projects. But that also gives me a great opportunity, because when I go and take the Civic on a trailer to Leon's place, because I have to take it on a trailer because it doesn't have MOT, I can go and take my Volvo 850R back to my own garage, which is closer to home, and then hopefully I can go and finish that car a bit quicker because I'll have more time to spend in that garage, and then I can get that car back on the road soon. And then of course my latest addition to the fleet, you've probably all seen, is my Volvo V70 2.5T that I'm currently working on. After all that sanding, painting and welding, I just really miss rebuilding engines, since that's my absolute favorite thing in the world to do. And even though it may not be ideal to have yet another project to work on, I do love the fact that I'm working on an engine again at the end of 2025, just like I did at the beginning of this year. Now let's talk wins, cause even though I didn't finish that many project cars this year, I am really happy with how far I've gone. I think the most important win of mine this year is how much I've learned, cause 2025 was the year where I first started welding and where I even prepped an entire car for paint, which I had never done before. And even though I wouldn't say I did a perfect job on either of them, I am so happy with all of the new skills I've acquired. And it's not just even the welding and prepping for me, because many other things that I've done this year were actually first timers for me. For example, working on my colleague's Ford. And even though I've spent quite a few hours in the garage, I did have a bit of free time. It wasn't much, because I also got a full-time job next to all of these projects, but I even made a trip to Japan back in May together with my friend Leon, which was the most amazing trip I've had in my entire life, because you know, you're in Japan, it's an entire different world, so that was amazing. And after that I also went to Austria, which was car related because it was for work, and I went there to test an old Renault Twingo, but that was really fun as well. So I did do some fun things this year too. Of course it wasn't all going smooth and easily this year, because I know that I buy all of these project cars myself, but sometimes I do feel really overwhelmed, especially this year, because I've had way too many projects and it's very time consuming to go and work on those cars, film videos, and also drive all around the Netherlands to visit all my cars, because I have no garage close to home. So it has been a bit overwhelming sometimes. But on the other hand, all of these projects did give me the great opportunity to spend more time with my friends. I'm sure you've seen some of that here on my YouTube too, because my friends Leon and Pascal are always there to assist me with my projects if needed. And that's what I'm most grateful for. Because not only am I doing what I'm most passionate about, I'm also sharing these experiences with my amazing friends. Even when I'm feeling overwhelmed, tackling these big projects doesn't feel like work at all to me when my friends are around. And now on to the disasters, because what's a project car without any chaos? For example, my Volvo 340 project that took way too many attempts for its first start. Or the bottle of clear coat exploding when trying to restore the headlights of my Honda Civic. Well, as you've probably seen, this entire can exploded. And look at that. Oh yeah, and me and Leon running out of primer halfway through repainting my Volvo 850R project. Well, this fender's done, but I ran out of primer when painting this one. So I'll order some more and repaint this one next week. Which wasn't even the worst part of spraying the primer, because a few weeks later it kept raining and we had to push and pull the car inside and outside of the garage for the painting, because we didn't want all of the layers of primer to get wet. But luckily, even with setbacks like these, we always have each other, because me and my friends are always super nice to each other. Fuck you. Grandpa. You're an old man.
Get your fat ass.
Just leave. Oh look, I got a Leon doing it for me. That's amazing. But honestly, through all the stress and setbacks, you guys get me going, because even though I don't reply to every single comment, I do read every single comment and I do see all of the love I get from you guys, and I am so grateful for that. I love this community and thank you so much for being there, even for watching, liking, commenting. Know that I really love you guys, so thank you so much. Alright, 2026, here's what I have planned, but no promises because you know how things go here. But my first goal of 2026 is to get my Volvo 850R back on the road and give it some license plates. And I also really want to get my BMW and my Civic on the road too, so I'm really hoping that I can do that. I also want to focus more on doing engine work, because that's what I love doing, like I mentioned. But you'll also see me do things like welding, prepping and all kinds of other stuff. Now, on a bigger note, I'm planning on trying to make some more time for this channel by either cutting transport time or cutting out other non-important stuff, because I want to take on more big projects. Or at least go through my projects a bit faster, because projects like my 850R are just taking way too long, and I can't wait that long, but I can imagine that it's getting a bit boring for you guys. But I am planning on spending more time in the garage, even more, yes. So I'm hoping that I can get back with bigger and more interesting projects next year. This year my project car collection has grown quite a bit, and I currently got 9 cars. If you're interested, I can go and do a video on all of these cars, going more into depth. But another goal of mine is to cut down a bit on the amount of cars I own. And like I said, start focusing on more exciting projects. And no, I'm not talking about supercars or anything, but just more interesting versions of the boring cars I own now. I am not 100% sure what 2026 will bring me, but one thing I am sure about, and that is that I will keep working on cars and that I will keep uploading videos about it. But for now, I really want to thank you guys for being here in 2025, and I want to wish you guys already a very happy new year, and I hope to see you back in 2026. Bye!